Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Koritza Subero from Universidad Autónoma de Chile, and together with Paula Belló and Mariana Vargas from Universidad Nacional de Tucumán, we are pleased to present our project, Smart Repository for COIL Experiences, Innovation, Inclusion, and Systematization with AI Support. It emerged from a very practical and very human problem we encountered while working with COIL experiences. Our presentation explores how artificial intelligence can support the organization, preservation, and pedagogical reuse of COIL experiences across institutions. As educators involved in virtual exchange, we realize that every COIL project generates incredible rich learning experiences, but also an overwhelming amount of pedagogical materials. And the question we started asking ourselves was, what happens to all that knowledge after the project ends? In our COIL collaborations, we produce lesson plans, student projects, recordings, reflexive journals, assessment rubrics, and teaching reflections. Everything was valuable, but everything was also everywhere. Some materials were in Google Drive folders, others were in personal computers, some were inside LMS platforms, others were simply lost over time. And I think many people working in virtual exchange can probably relate to this experience. We realized that although COIL creates powerful intercultural and pedagogical learning opportunities, institutions often struggle to preserve and reuse that knowledge systematically. So, instead of building institutional memory, many COIL projects remain isolated experiences. That was the starting point for this repository. This initiative was developed within the ANID-funded project, Strategically Sustainable and Intercultural English Teaching through International Online Collaborative Learning, COIL. The project connected 3 universities. Beyond international collaboration itself, our shared interest was understanding how virtual exchange could become sustainable over time. Not just innovative ones, but reusable, scalable, and institutionally meaningful. Our repository was created with 2 major objectives. The first was practical, to facilitate access and reuse of COIL materials among teachers and project teams. But the second objective was deeper and more strategic. We wanted to support teacher training, monitoring of COIL experiences, transfers of best practices, and institutional learning. In other words, we were not trying to create a digital archive. We were trying to create a living pedagogical knowledge system. One important aspect of this project is that the repository was not designed only from a technical perspective. It was co-designed collaboratively by faculty teams from the universities through a participatory design methodology. Teachers helped define categories, pedagogical priorities, metadata, and organizational logic. Then, artificial intelligence helped us make sense of large volumes of information. The repository was implemented in Notion as a collaborative and scalable knowledge base. It includes AI semantic classification, searchable metadata, teaching resources, student final products, dashboards, and reflective evidence. Also, we use tools such as Semantic Scholar to generate semantic tags and thematic organization. For example, materials could be grouped automatically under themes like interculturality, inclusion, sustainability, assessment practices, reflective teaching, or emerging technologies. What is important here is that AI was not replacing pedagogical decision-making. Our preliminary findings show that AI significantly improves the intuitive organization of materials. Faculty members reported easier access to resources, stronger collaboration, and better continuity between projects. But perhaps the most meaningful insight of that is that our COIL experiences stopped being isolated events. They started becoming part of a collective institutional intelligence, and this is why our key contribution is that AI becomes a mediating tool that transforms chaotic archive into shared and reusable pedagogical knowledge. Of course, for us, AI is not the center of the project. The center continues to be human collaboration, reflection, and intercultural learning. AI simply helps us make those connections sustainable and visible. As future projects, we hope to expand the repository to more universities, develop multilingual and open access repositories, and continue strengthening sustainable teacher training ecosystem through virtual exchange. Thank you very much for your attention. We invite you to visit our repository through the QR code and collaborate with us in future COIL initiatives.